Some of these officers were taken to SAMC tonight to be treated for their injuries. We also know that this started as a suicide call, a male in his 40s. Sounds like the chief has a pretty good idea of who this is because family members are the ones that called this in. And Avery Everett reporting just moments ago that she saw the hostage negotiation team show up on scene. And that might be what we're looking at off in the distance there. They have a trailer that they usually do a lot of these negotiations from. I'm guessing that's what we're seeing. And the chief very clear about the fact that SWAT is on the scene and that SWAT is kind of taken over what seems to be the forward thrust of this operation right now.
And that's exactly why the police chief is also telling people to stay out of the area. In fact, he said that some people that live within the Sentara Heights apartments were evacuated and they weren't able to evacuate others. So that just kind of tells you the tense situation that's been happening there for almost 2 hours.
Again, I want to reiterate some information that a source is telling me. This source does not believe that this suspect has left those apartment complexes, that it is contained at those apartment complexes is the belief by San Antonio police at this hour. That is what a source just told me. So that just backs up kind of what we were seeing preliminarily and the fact that the way they're treating this entire situation, like I said, is hopefully a little bit of relief to some of the neighbors. That is not spread to any of the neighborhoods around. That is the information that I was just given just moments ago. I'm looking at the tweet right now, or the text right now. And so we're going to stay on top of this until there's some sort of resolution here. You can see right now a line of cruisers actually going up farther up Stone Oak Parkway than perhaps we saw moments ago. Avery, it looks as if they're setting up a perimeter around this apartment complex. Is that what you're noticing?
We are too far away from the apartment complex at this point to see that exactly, but we can see it by the command post that some of the police cars, are starting to position themselves towards the exit, towards the perimeter of the parking lot. But I can't see exactly from where I'm standing the apartment complex. I mean, cars are still driving down Stone Oak, but we're seeing more vehicles towards the front or towards the east side of the parking lot near the exits.
That we could hear you, but yeah, our Zaria Oates, who's our second reporter there on the scene, we're going to go to her now. We are told that she is along Sentara Place, just to give us another vantage point there as to what's happening. What can you tell us, Zaria?
Yeah, earlier we were at that Valero where Chief McManus said some information about what's going on and how active this scene still is. But right now we're just off of Sentara Place where police officers are lined up. There's at least 15, 20 police officers that I can see within at least a 50-feet radius. They've got all of these streets blocked off by police cars, by themselves, by those fire parts on the ground. There's a lot of scene active still here, but what I'm actually going to show you is on this other side. This is a senior living facility. It's an independent living facility, but they've got some assistance. We are reading just off of a sign right here. It's called Franklin Park, and this is not even a mile away from where everything is happening. The lights are on. People are still inside. It seems to be a safe situation, but police are guarding this location as of right now, and we are working to find out exactly what the situation is in here and making sure that they're safe. But as of right now, we do believe that they are safe and that the situation is contained to that apartment complex. We are working to learn more information about those people who were displaced. We spoke with a man. His name is Joseph. He lives at those apartment complexes where the active scene is still ongoing, and he told us that he was told to evacuate, but once he and his mother got outside of their apartment unit, they weren't able to go anywhere else because they're, quote, in the crossfire. They are safe right now. They are okay, and he is still communicating with us, but they did see a lot of that ongoing scene earlier today. He also tells me that he saw out of his window after some fire stopped and things calmed down just a little bit for a brief period of time. He saw people put a tourniquet on one of the officers' legs and pull him out of the scene. We do know that those 4 officers are expected to be okay, but right now this is still a fluid and active situation, and we're monitoring that situation, the officers here on Sentara Place, and of course this senior living facility. As we learn more information, we'll bring you that here and online.
Zaria, so that's the senior living place that's behind you. What's on the other side? What was right behind you before when you started this live shot?
Yeah, we can walk that way just a little bit. There's some officers' cars here, both marked and unmarked. There are quite a few officers on that side. Across the street appears to be some sort of like building, like a Holiday Inn or something like that, of a different branding. And then to the right of that are some businesses. They're all closed at this time. There's a refining and rejuvenating place, just kind of like a spa place. All of these businesses that would suspectedly be closed at around 10:15 p.m. There's several businesses. It goes around the whole lot and then back up and down this road here. All of them are closed, but these parking lots are pretty full because a lot of people, of course, can't get towards their apartments or can't get where they're going if it's past where that apartment complex is. We did drive around here just a little bit before we came here, and we saw lots of police presence everywhere. And then we also saw a couple of playgrounds closer to where that apartment complex is. Of course, no children on those playgrounds at this time, but we did see 2 playgrounds and a basketball court over near where those apartment complexes are. And we saw some other buildings. We're not exactly sure what those businesses were, as it is late at night, but many of them are closed at this hour. Steve?
I want to apologize, Daria. I did not hear exactly what you said the building was. That's before you get to that, before you get to those shopping centers.
Yeah, this building across from here, Alexis, our photojournalist, can show you right now. It looks like there's a lot of aesthetic places here. It looks to be some sort of hotel or of that nature, but we're not 100% sure at this time.
Okay.
I am going to step back just a little bit because they are bringing another car in here, it looks like, but it doesn't look like it's a police officer. It looks like maybe somebody trying to get home. Of course, this area is blocked off right now. We couldn't get any further than where we are right now, and there's about 20 officers or so just down there. We're going to try to figure out what this building is. It looks like a lot of the lights are off, but the lobby might be lights on. There might be people inside of the lobby, but of course the entire parking lot is filled with police officers' cars.
Yeah,
Steve?
absolutely. All right, Zario, it's live from Sonterra Place, which is also not far from where we believe the shooting is. The shooting scene is in the Sonterra Heights apartments just off Soto Parkway.
And you know, we've had Avery and Zaria on with us at 2 different locations each since they've been on with us, and what you get a sense of is just how densely populated that area is. Right now, an untold number of people are being affected by what's happening in the Sonterra Heights apartment complex, which is obviously, you have to imagine that they're on edge right now. For 2 hours, this has been happening already. It started at 8:30 tonight. Okay, I just heard from my producer that we have an interview right now that we want to show you with someone who lives in the Sonterra Heights apartments. Let's go to that right now.
What was the scene like when it first started, when you first heard it?
Yeah, so I was studying, and I just heard like one big bang. I didn't really think much of it, and my mom, she lives with me, so she told me to come outside the balcony, because she heard all these noises and stuff, and sure enough, there's like helicopters flying everywhere. I was like, wow, what are these like helicopters doing over here, you know? And then literally like 10 seconds after that, we heard like multiple gunshots. It was like 2 or 3. And I was like, hey mom, what's your gunshots? And I looked over to the hallway, and sure enough, like I saw one of the SAPC officers was on the ground, and he had been shot. It looked like that shot like on the upper thigh, because they were putting a tourniquet on him. And then that's when they dragged him away, and then for a while, for like a good 20-30 minutes, I didn't really hear anything.
All right, that's from one of the apartment complex residents there living in the Sonterra Heights apartments. And we should point out, San Antonio police are asking residents of that complex to please stay inside their apartments for their own safety and for officer safety as well. Like we said, we've seen a number of videos on Facebook of people purporting to have shot the scene, and you can actually see people on their balconies. So it is a very dangerous situation. Like the chief says, it's a hot situation there inside that apartment complex. San Antonio police are asking people to not only stay away from the scene, but if you are in your apartment at that complex, please stay inside and out of harm's way.
Right, for the safety of everybody involved right now. The last thing you should do is you just don't want to interfere with anything that's happening right now, or potentially damage something that's happening. So please try to just stay off of live streaming or something with social media. I know it may be tempting because you're trying to find answers and see what's happening, but we're also here with you, and we're giving you updates on what's happening. Now, a moment ago, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we did get a number, we've been getting a number of calls from neighbors, people that are traveling this area, wondering what's happening along 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. The best thing we can tell them right now is that police believe they have this individual contained inside that apartment complex. A lot of people who live in that area worried if this was going to spread into some of the other neighborhoods there, Sonterra, some of the Stone Oak neighborhoods. We are told right now that police believe they have him contained inside that apartment complex itself. That certainly seems to be backed up by what we're seeing on the ground there as well. It looks as if police are setting up a perimeter around the apartment complex itself to make sure it stays contained. So hopefully that's a little bit of relief for some of the people who are living in a neighborhood. They do not believe this is going to spread beyond this complex, or has spread beyond this complex at this hour.
So what we've been trying to do in the meantime is just speak to people. Our reporters have been on the scene trying to speak with people who did manage to evacuate by police through the help of police. And our zoning
Click,
codes a
click,
few minutes
pull.
ago, she's responsible for giving us that interview.